Good evening, cool cats, cool dudes, and Crescencio Somerville. Welcome to this. We All Love Leeds, the show where we discuss our love of Leeds and our hatred of other football teams. Sorry, what's that? Anyway, so let's have a look who's rolling in. Sam Greenwood, thank you for joining us, sir, with a good intro that I'll let Bandi know. And Director John in the VAR room. I think he may be in the Romanian sleep room. I've just invented that. I don't know. How is everyone? Hope you're all well. So it was I feel like I'm wearing like a football crown of football fawns or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good win last night. Well, it was a win last night. The important thing. But as you may be asking, where's Ben? Well, Ben is indisposed this evening, unfortunately. But he does say hello. So now he looks like he's got multiple arms. Anyway. So we'll definitely be welcoming him back. I have some serious questions today for your Leeds channel. No messing around. Well, there's no real reason not to show them. But would you rather ask your serious questions right now, or would you rather just roast some other football teams? Because it's something I seem to like doing. So good old Ben. Yeah, he's a good lad. He'll definitely be back. So Luton won at the weekend. Burnley won in midweek. I believe they won at Luton, who also won in the weekend, which leaves, I believe, by my count, two teams currently yet to win. So we have to simplify it, of course. Everybody who's won a Premier League game this season may go home early today. So Bournemouth and Sheffield United, not allowed to go home early today, unfortunately. It's a shame. It's roasting, baby. Let's get him in his silly hat. Can't believe his silly hat. You're a funny man. But also, I believe we did a reference before to Dan Burn scoring in the Premier League game. He's only gone and scored in a Champions League game. Big Dan Burn. You have to call him Big Dan, but you can't call him Dan Burn. He's Big Dan Burn. And yeah, everybody likes to score a Champions League goal, even the very tall. Poor Michelangelo from the Turtles being bullied there. Yeah, that's the thing. Chelsea did win at the weekend, or on Monday night. I guess that counts as the weekend. But did you know that Domino's, a pizza retailer, put a display up before the game, displaying how many pizzas they'd sold since Chelsea last scored a league goal? So that was a thing. Evening all. Hello, welcome to Bremner's Ghost, otherwise known as Jimmy. Welcome, sir. Newcastle destroyed PSG. That is commendable, despite... Well, yeah, I basically looked at it as Qatar, or Saudi Arabia beat Qatar, didn't they? Right. We've spent our money slightly better than you spent your money, kind of mentality to it. But the match itself, to be fair to them, they just destroyed them, didn't they? Like PSG looked like a boxer that wasn't used to getting punched in the face, and then he got in there with Mike Tyson, and Tyson punched him in the face, and he didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Pay rise, whoever thought of that mean. Yep, pay rise. So let's get into something that did happen at the weekend, just before we get into Leeds. But do you hear about the open top bus parade in London, where Tottenham celebrated the fact they beat a 9-man Liverpool with an own goal? It's a thing. It definitely happened. They've not just superimposed that on the front. It 100% happened. But conversely, did you know Liverpool had a bus celebration of their own in response, where we played well with 9 men, but still lost. So swings and roundabouts, really. Now, Scousers, if you thought that was the end of memes for you, you thought wrong. Because I have it on good authority that Jurgen Klopp's going to find out who cancelled the check for VAR, and they'll never work in this town again. Spurs are the Omos of football, even though Omos is awesome and Spurs are not, although they're currently doing well. Did you know Liverpool fans cry to their mum that the refs hate them? Allegedly. This is all allegedly, not fact. But something that is fact, okay, is this ref, Simon Hooper, when he was checking the VAR in the Tottenham v Liverpool match, this is what he actually was looking at. Yeah, he was ordering his dinner. Clippy Klopp. Klopp and his white teeth investigate. Exactly. Still better than if his yellow teeth investigated. But the money is on. His teeth could be massively white. But also before the game, their next game, not tonight, because in Europe it don't count. But in the league game, next league game, they are going to have a minute silence, did you know, in honour of their disallowed goal and the first time in the history of VAR being wrong, according to them. Our thoughts will go to the victims. Liverpool Football Club. Good evening to Russ, and as Sam Greenwood so eloquently put, his favourite sex doll quality assurance tester. I was shaking my head, but you can't see it. Boohoo, Livar. They're probably not, but for the purposes of this, we'll pretend that they are. They've also got a new chant called "You'll Never Hear the End of It." So, allegedly. Did you know there was rising tides in the Mersey? They've reached record levels of the tears of the Liverpool fans continue after their hammering by Tottenham. Sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. Good evening, you handsome bastard. He must be typing that towards a mirror, because I know it's not a my grizzled old features. But I'm going to make this about wrestling. I always find a way. Did you know, as Jurgen Klopp was saying, you can clearly see that Earl Hebner rang the bell and Bret Hart did not tap out in his own sharpshooter. And he's adamant that we need to replay the WWF title match from the 1997 Survivor Series. I'm not sure we will, but it's nice that he thinks that they should. Just important to acknowledge that the real issues in the world. Liverpool fans saying, Mr. Bottom Half teams, these VAR decisions are costing us points. To which fans of teams in the bottom half will say, yeah, they'll do that. They will do that. Liverpool doing replays on Hubcap thefts as well. They certainly are. But in the interest of balance, because we always like to treat everyone fairly, let's also acknowledge some Liverpool legends. We'll give them 10 seconds, just pure acknowledging the legends. Like to acknowledge the legends, yeah. We can take in their legendariness. But finally, on Liverpool, I've got official leaked images of their 2024-25 home kit. Yeah, definitely true. Yeah, the audacity. That's enough about Liverpool. Should we start picking on Manchester United? Yeah, we definitely should. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. So, to be fair, this was sent to me by Ben. In fairness to him, have you been missold a Manchester United season ticket? Man United season tickets have been wrongly sold to people who are expecting to watch football be played. Start your claim now to see if you've been missold a Manchester United season ticket and find out how much you could be entitled to. Start your claim now on Oh, sorry, 0800 323 232. Don't ring it though. I don't know what's on the other end. It could be a sex line. I have no idea. But speaking of Man United season tickets, did you also hear that someone left 2 Manchester United tickets on their dashboard and someone smashed the window and then only left their 2 season tickets as well? The humanity of the situation. Away kit sponsored by Tampax. Yeah. What do we think of Manchester? Shit. Yes, we hate Manchester United. Maybe Johnson & Johnson, no more tears, could be the Liverpool Football Club supporter. Sam Greenwood correctly states that is a great idea from Spawny Mark, who we will also welcome. Thank you for your support, Spawny Mark. Congratulations on your victory over Manchester City on Saturday. I've also picked you in the Arsenal fan circles upset pick game. I have selected Wolves to beat. With respect, I can't remember who you're playing, but I've definitely selected you to get another win. But also importantly, did you know Man United have now got their own brand of gravy cube? That's right, gravy. That's right. Because you've got the beef stock, the kid stock, and then the Manchester United version, the laughing stock. So, yeah, that's a thing. Now, if you think I'm going too hard on them, not true. I've got live footage of an inanimate object, which is basically the equivalent of the Manchester United defence right now. Sod discussers, sponsored with PAVA spray, and then we beat. You did. It's impressive. Mark has a hangover over that glorious win. Lovely. Thank you, Sam. Very kind. Yeah, that's quite the defence there that they've got. But did you know that I was challenged to find the two things that are the most useless in Europe? So that's true. That they are terrible. Just absolute waste of space, and the plug as well. Just terrible. What a solid partnership, Evans and Maguire. Of course. But we should not discount Pep Guardiola's role in all of this, because Pep said Onana was the best player in the Champions League final, and then Man United signed him. That chess move should be studied. I bet people forget that. Pep puppeteering the Manchester United transfer policy here. But on the site Football Funnies, they are wondering how they're going to explain to their children that Onana was chipped from here. So, I don't know. Guardiola Gambit, Pep the evil mastermind. When it's Man United, though, it's not evil. It's just masterminding. But, and you go think I'm bullying the goalkeeper, but how can you, how does he not think he's Superman? Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, that's a thing. Got his cape and everything. I know how to do that, by the way. I know how to put a cape on. Anyway. One more. He was brought. Erik ten Hag was brought in to put them in the top 4, and in fairness to him, he's going to make sure that they finish top 4. So, facts. Onana Player of the Year. He changes in the telephone. Whatever Onana's doing, I'm sure we can all agree he needs to keep doing it, right? There's no reason not to. But I hate the team that they played against, but it was still funny they lost to them. So, yeah. And that was it with the meme content of the show. I don't know what all that stuff was about. Anana, what's my name? Anana, what's my name? I think that's what he was going for. So basically, this was how we lined up last night. I believe we've seen Camera dropped and Gray brought in. I think it's a wise decision based on Camera's performance. To be fair, if it was possible to drop 11 players, he probably, based on that Southampton performance, he probably should have. But no memes about Mark Hughes getting sacked. Yeah, but you know who else is going to get the sack, Jimmy, soon? Father Christmas. So I don't know if they make memes about League Two, though, with respect to old Sparky. Or just do the plug meme again, because he'd probably be crap in Europe as well. Anyway, this is how we've lined up for the game. And again, Fark clearly favours this formation, no matter who he puts in it. But in hindsight, happy to see Joe Rodon back in the lineup alongside Pascal Stoich. I know Stoich has its detractors, but I've got an interesting statistic for a certain Mr. Greenwood, who has noticed some things about him. Mark Hughes has a red nose. He can stand in for Rudolph. It's a fair point. Didn't know Amanda's poo could play in defence. He actually can, but he's best deployed as the pivot, I suppose. The site Arsenal had. That's incorrect of them, but I think he did play in defence for Sheffield United when he was on loan. Now, I could be wrong. Don't necessarily quote me on that. But I'm sure he deputised there. Anyway, so the game kicks off, right? And look at his happy face. It's nice to see him smiling. We like seeing smiles at Elm Road. Ampadu, the new David Bay. It's fair. It's a fair shout. And Bruno Lage got the sack from Botafogo. Is that in Brazil or in Portugal? Probably team with that name. But it doesn't surprise me because he doesn't play the most exciting or enterprising of football. I'm sure Mark will agree. But them's the breaks. So Leeds immediately set about putting it about QPR. So Ruter gets the ball. You can see Somerville's got his hand up, but he doesn't really expect this to get to him. But it does get to him. And then it's in the back of the net. Goal, 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 goal. Leeds scored. Earliest we've scored this season as well. And to my knowledge, it's one of the very few first half goals we've had so far this season, because we seem to get better as the game goes on, let's just say. But Brazil, yep, sounded right. Thank you, Mark, for that. I agree with Jimmy. It was 100% correct. The pass, Ruter cutting in from the edge of the pitch, cutting inside, and then threading past. He's a fantastic player, isn't he? He's a bit of a sexy Lexi. I'll Ruter. I still find it fascinating that we bought him for 35 million or whatever it was, when in a relegation battle, and then didn't play him. I'm not saying we'd have stayed up if we played Jorginho Ruter, not necessarily. But why buy him in a relegation battle to not? I don't understand it. I still don't. I reckon I could be on my deathbed in about 7,000 years, and I'll be like laying there going like, oh, why did we buy Jorginho Ruter to not play him? Sort of. It's never gonna. I'm sure there will be other things on my in that, but that will be in the top 5. Like, might be 4th of the top 5. I don't know. second would be, when's Omos gonna get in the main event of WrestleMania? Yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I was doing it like I'm doing the Michael Jackson part of Thriller Dance, but still. Thank you. But yeah, so goal. Somerville, I've been a critic of his on this show, in fairness to him. I don't think he's direct enough on the ball. I think he wants to display the showboating ability that Ruter successfully displays, but I don't think he's quite good enough to do it. I know people are not going to like that, but I want to see him deploy himself about a bit similar to Dan James. Like Dan James knows he's not particularly good at football, but he's quick and he heads straight forwards whenever he gets ball. I want to see more of that from Somerville. Don't get me wrong, of course, that pass was so good that he had no option but to head forwards and slide in. I'm glad he did. So let's get this clear. I'm not anti-Somerville. I'm pro him doing things better. Like all footballers should. Like I want all these footballers to do well. Even Helder Costa, who's picking up a wage while doing as much for the club as I've been doing in the last year. But anyway, it's a take. I won't say it's a hot take, but you know. So anyway, Leeds continue to rain down on their goal, and so there he is. He's look at him. He's like he's I don't know who he's shushing, but he does remind me of my uncle when he came into. Anyway, so yeah. Sorry, what's that? Almost. Would you say Somerville was your best? Absolutely not. He's not our best player. Don't get me wrong. He's obviously a core prospect. He's someone you could shift on for a few quid. Like, heaven forbid, if we did not go up, he will turn around. If he turns around and goes, I want to leave or whatever, it would be like Burnley, how much you got. Whoever got promoted would then whack 20 million quid on the table, for example. So yeah, like we'd make a big profit on him from the amount. It was a couple million, I think we paid for him, maybe one or two. But so I actually, as I'm going to display in the graphic, our best player is not the sexiest choice, but our best player is Ethan Ampadu. Based on performance in the first 10 games, it's Ethan Ampadu. Ruter trying to shrug off. Let's put it up while Sam reading Sam's comment. Trying to shrug some tug off. It's Piru, to be fair to him. But yeah, you are right. He is going for a cheeky tug, isn't he? It's good to see team spirit and camaraderie like that. That's if we're being fair to him. But yeah, so we went in one. Oh, and now Bruter's joining in on the tugging. And for some reason, no shushing. Somerville's all for. He's like, yeah, you can join in, mate. I'm not judging. Not judging at all. Making a profit would be nice. Rare it happens for us. Sorry, not familiar with all these players' names. Not a problem, Mr. Greenwood. Not a problem. The important thing is that the jokes are flying in. It's like we'll learn you. And then basically the second half, from what I've seen, I was at work, so I saw like the extended highlights. It felt a bit flat, but it felt in the way of QPR offered nothing. But it felt like they were biding their time because they were going to get their customary like 90th minute chance that Leeds always give away, and they banked on themselves to score it, but they didn't. Meslier, to his credit, did save it, and I admire. I've said it before, but like the reason like goalkeepers like Allison and Edison are so elite is because they rarely have to do anything, but then when they do, they do it. Like Meslier made the most saves in a Premier League season one year, but then you can't. He's always going to be switched on because he knows he's always going to be called to action. Whereas against QPR, he wasn't. He had very little to do other than when we would pass the ball back to him to give him something to do. 5 clean sheets in 6 games, excellent. Exactly. You can't really undisputable, isn't it? Like, what can he do other than not concede goals? Like, what can we get on him now that he hasn't got 2 assists? Maybe he should. I don't know. No, I'm joking there, of course. Up to 6th again seems a long way up to Leicester. It's true. You're right. But in fairness, we're not necessarily trying to catch Leicester right now. I suppose we're trying to catch Ipswich, who, I mean, they're still away, but you know, I'm getting that with respect to them. Don't get me wrong. If they keep it up and they do, then more power to them. But we're 10 games into a 46 games, so we've got 36 games left. Is like in the Premier League, that's nearly a whole season. Hello, Pincushion Ian. Thank you for joining us. So, but there was a flashpoint at the end of the game, which I think should be brought up, where Patrick Bamford was nearly murdered by Asmir Begovic. No, I'm joking. Obviously, he's not nearly murdered. Yes, Sam, that's correct. I mean, the goal is just to get back into the Premier League. I think automatic promotion is essential for us. No fucking chance of we going up for the playoffs because, if in case you're not aware, Mr. Greenwood, Leeds have never ever won a playoff campaign. Get to the final with a lot of them and then fall short by hook or crook or whatever. My take on this is, and this could be wrong, he's obviously not touched him. I think Bamford has recognised he's not touched him. But at the same time, if he does go towards him, it is potentially a career-ending tackle because he's gone in studs up, right? I mean, that's clear. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure after this chat only turn up when Leeds lose. They're so fickle. Well, you're all here and we won. So, but hello, Colonel Ward. Thank you for turning up. Did Bamford need to go down? No. Did Begovic deserve the... I assume Bamford... I could be wrong here, Jimmy. I assume his priority in that moment was, I do not want to get studied. Because he's literally just come back from an injury. And I'm not necessarily justifying the red card, but at the same time, I wouldn't go quite as far as to say it's diving, even though he's obviously... I'm never going to convince anyone there's contacts, because there's obviously not. But I don't think it's as easy as saying he dived either, because if he'd have gone into him, he'd have got hurt. Taib, my Uzbekistani cousin, how are you? Oh, wait, Taib Hussein's here. Sam, stop being a butt. Taib, you absolute pencil. How are you, sir? How are you, sir? Not a bad turnout after a winter night. Yes. Yep, thank you, Mr. Greenwood. But no, it's great to see you all here, and thank you for the support. Bum fluff better than bum back. Yeah, that's not PG, but I still read it out. That's fine. He's probably... I agree. I think he was. I think he... In his fight or flight was very much a case of, okay, this could be really bad. Like, he obviously didn't have that conversation with himself in that split second, but I think it's very... I can see why QPR would be furious, because if that, we'd be furious. And I'll be very surprised if Bamford gets... What I think should happen is Bamford gets banned, or doesn't get banned, doesn't get banned, because he's probably not going to play anyway, because we've got a striker. Exactly, as Sam Greenwood just pointed out. I mean, banning him would be pointless. It doesn't seem to. But at the same time, if Bamford gets injured, would it be beneficial to your season? Well, I could be speaking out of turn here, but I think we've already prepared for a life without Bamford. as such, like by buying Joel Piroux, which we should have bought a few years ago. Not necessarily him, but the reliance on him, I think, was playing with fire, and we got burned a bit. I could be totally wrong. So he got sent off. The game carried on for about another 8, 9, whatever minutes. Something else in the game that I thought was quite interesting, the amount of foul throws. I believe it was either 3 or 4 foul throws, which is like 3 or 4 too many at professional level. Found it really silly. Both teams, like, you're better than this. Like that's what happens when you're playing under 11s and you've not been taught. Just Melier looking more concentrated this season. I think it's as we alluded to earlier, I think it's a bit of he's got less pressure on him in the context that he hasn't got Mo Salah, etc., running down on him every 20 seconds. But also, I think there personally, I think there was a disconnect last season. The defence lost trust in him. He lost trust in them. Recipe for disaster. Again, I could be wrong, but just Leeds fans here, they watched it. Like you see, like Luke Aylin's walking back because he's like, I've had enough of this shit. We'd all had enough of this shit, Luke. But you're the one with the power to actually do something about it and stop it, but you didn't. Don't get me wrong, football fans are very fickle, very forgiving. So goals and performances and that will overturn what I thought about you in that moment. What about Bamford? Premier League was much... Yeah, exactly. Do you think Farker will get you promoted? Yes, I do. I think we're in the best position. In my opinion, we got two years, okay? Because and you think, oh no, how can obviously the second year be harder, but we'll have about 8 or 9 players coming back that we could sell because they're all out on loan at the moment. They're off our wage bill, but at the same time they when like the likes of Aronson and that come back, this is the weird dichotomy of it all. Yeah, we all have a laugh when we see Brendan Aronson like comes on against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and then Union Berlin concede a goal. Hilarious, but it is better for the club that these players do well, and then we can sell them. I don't want them back wearing the shirt because you couldn't get off the fucking Titanic fast enough. So go fuck yourselves. But it's for the club, the business, the institution. They need to do well so we can accept the ones at Everton and Bournemouth. They really can go fuck themselves. But the ones that have gone abroad and that slightly more. Then we can sell them off for like 20 million a pop or whatever. And then you have another crack at getting out of the Championship. But it's important that we get out this time. Because then you have even more chance of shifting these fuckers once we're a Premier League club. And then just vis-a-vis and all that. I don't know what that means. But so I've got some more folks coming in. What Leeds games would Tom have replayed due to injustice from referee decisions? Someone's bound to a fault of the 1975 European Cup final, which Bayern Munich went over us. Again, though, due to suspicious refereeing decisions, I think it's fair to say. My dad would have a different word for that. There are probably others if I actually thought about them, but they're off the top of my head. When I saw him against West Ham, he was a great shot stopper. Obviously, it was only one game. Actually, last season against Brentford, where we lost 5-2 on National Cinema Day, there were some suspicious refereeing decisions in that one as well. And ironically, had we got 3 points there, we would still be in the Premier League. Works out differently, but the maths of it. Yeah, My thing with Melier though is I was very angry at him last season because you were ending up with statistics like he conceded 10 goals out of 12 shots and things like that. So that makes it very difficult for defence to trust him. And he's on his own. Like, he ain't got no partner alongside him as such. Like, it's a very lonely position when you're not doing well, I think it's fair to say. All pouring in there. Yeah, but apologies, rude of me. Welcome, Chris Nix. Thank you very much for stopping by. Tom Fordery and Daniel Farkery. Yeah, I've known to do some of that. Tom Fordery. Melier's great shot stop makes me shudder every time he has to kick the ball clear. I'll tell you what I don't like about modern football, and it ain't going to change, but I don't like the emphasis on playing like you're in the NFL, where like you try and progress the ball 5 yards at a time. Like, used to, like, you boot it down the pitch and then it's a 50-50, or at best their big centre half is going to head it back over and then you're in possession of the ball on the halfway line. Whereas now they start you in possession of the ball on 6-yard box or the 18-yard box, but then their players know you're going to do it, so they bear down on you. Especially in the Premier League, it's relentless. But I digress. Pinky, yeah. Yes, more abuse for Sam Greenwood, which I'm sure he understands that. I think that's more than allowed. 2 months I'll sooner get ER expanded. I'm sick of this. Oh, we're going to expand it. It's like, no, you're not. You're literally They have no genuine intention of expanding this football ground. Otherwise, it would have happened. Oh, you got to do it while we're in the Premier League. We were in the Premier League for 3 years. You ain't put so much as a new seat in the fucking place. Fuck you. Anyway, but I don't like the lie of it. Just say once we're established in the Premier League for 10 years, then you'll consider doing it. Just say that. Rather than the fucking lies, like always making it sound like, oh, if we get promoted, then we can start like doing building work or whatever it is. Or, you will read the same articles I do about Leeds. Well, the Leeds fans here do. Football's like ping pong, long ball game. It's true. Good old 4-4-2. Yeah, all these weird formations, Christmas trees and stuff. It's like, just do 4-4-2. And I know I sound like Richard Keys when I say that. I know I do. But not everything he says is idiotic. Most of it is idiotic. Sorry, Richard, if you're seeing this, which I know you're not, so. Anyway, but I digress. So, we did win. Okay. It's the shush man again, as Sam Greenwood would call him. Sam Leeds should have been a top team by now, but they've been unfortunate. And then, please don't use my name in vain. That's blasphemy. What, your name's Richard Keys? Sorry, Ian. Didn't realise. Sammy Pink. And then Shushy scored again. Yeah, Mr. Shushy, Captain Shush. For getting to the stats on the game, before I'd thrown it, thought this was interesting. Okay, from my friends at All Leeds, the All Leeds group. Basically, Ampadu, 92 touches. He had 60 out of 74 successful passes, but 34 of those were successful forward passes. Recovered the ball 13 times, 8 duels on, 6 out of 9 accurate long passes. All this basically is all going to lead up to he's playing very well for Leeds United, and I'd even argue he was the best of a poor bunch on Saturday. Like, if I was to rate him 5 out of 10, and I don't really do the rating thing, but then everyone else would have been 4. But anyway, like 3 interceptions, 2 fouls, foul once, chance created, just incredible stuff. Thrilled with him, to be fair, especially when you consider we paid very little for him. Leeds have certainly been unfortunate in our owners' type. Yeah, Richard Keys, yeah. Any excuse to bring up Richard Keys. Thought I'd bring up some other stuff as well, where basically it's the first time we've won 4 consecutive home games against QPR. Oh, also, this is courtesy of LUFC data on Twitter. What a great Twitter account. Leeds got consecutive home league wins for the first time since August 2022. I believe those were, sorry Mark, you might want to close your ears. Leeds beat Wolves and then we beat Chelsea 3-0. I believe that's what it's in reference to. Jorginho Rutter now has more goals and assists than any other Leeds playing Championship with 2 goals, 3 assists. Now kept 5 clean sheets in 6 games. 3 consecutive home clean sheets for the first time since July 2020, which off the top of my head would have been games against Barnsley, Fulham, and no, not Fulham. It would have been Charlton, Barnsley, and Stoke in reverse in the pandemic. One other thing I noticed, or I say noticed, I didn't know, it was on the Athletic, but they put out an article about the importance of Pascal Struijk to this setup, and the referee looks like a dwarf. Let's put this back up just so we can see what he's. Yes, true. I think he also doubled in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. So yes, sorry lad. Hello, Spencer Bronco, who also does the YouTube thing, specialising in American sports and Arsenal. If anyone was interested in those, he loves the college game. He loves seeing people that go to school throw the football. Just waffling now. My apologies. Yeah. What's up, gentlemen? Sam. So, basically, according to this graph, Meslier, whenever he distributes, they've counted who he distributes the ball to. And basically, they've discovered that he gives the ball to Pascal Struijk specifically nearly 4 times as much as the next person, which would be Rodon. And this was in the first 9 games, of course. But basically, we do the building out from the back thing, like most teams do. But it's interesting that the tactic seems to go through Pascal Struijk more than everyone else, or more than anyone else in the back line. I thought was an interesting thing to notice. He's been really good, especially compared like last season. I would argue last season was like a nightmare experience for him because obviously, as we all know, he kept being played out of position on the left, and it obviously made him look worse than he really is. And I think he's. Is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, but nearly 4. Let's just say it's nearly 4 times. Yeah. Get it right if you're going to be botanic. Yeah. So times it. So yeah. Where was I? Oh, I was singing his praises. Yeah. So he should have scored last night. He missed from 3 yards out off the corner. Like the ball dropped to him and he put it over the bar, and I wanted to throttle him, but not that much because he's been. I'm very easy to win over, despite what people think. Like, oh, you're always shouting at the players. Yeah, I'm going to shout at the players. That's what I do. It's still a lot more though. Yeah, that was my point. Is it's a significant outlier in our it's obviously something he has been told to do more than not told to do. I don't know. I'm waffling there, but big game. It is a big game against Bristol City. It's but don't worry. I've got things for this. So I'll put my crown back up. But I think at this stage I'm going to show the stats of the game. Where that 5 shots for QPR is underselling the dominance of the game. It felt like they didn't know what to do. When Elias Chair got the ball, he didn't know what to do because no one went with him. Is it Elias Chair? Is that the? Does that not tell you though, Spencer, that does it not tell you the tightness of the Championship? Is that it's 6th versus 11th, but the actual point differential is minimal. Decent record against Bristol City. Fits you like a glove. That's very kind of you. Did you ever back a team to get promoted but fell away towards the end of the season? That happened to Leeds in 2016-17 off the top of my head. Leeds were like pushing for top 2 around Christmas and ended up finishing 7th. And I believe it was managed by Gary Monk at the time. Similar again in our 2010-11, in our first season back in the Championship, when we got promoted from League One, we started really well. Again, for a promoted side, really well. Ended up finishing 7th, and then ended up pottering around the league for the next 10 years. But yeah, so I'm hoping that happens to Ipswich with respect to them, because if the thing that annoys me about Ipswich is like they look really good, but we beat them, so it feels like everyone else, like Sheffield United's only point, I might have 2, I can't remember, but Sheffield United turned up to Ellen Road to specifically get a 0-0 win, and they got it, but then everyone else batters them, and it's like, so why do you only try hard against Leeds, you pricks? Anyway, sorry, that's something frustrating. We've gone through this before. Every team feels like everyone only tries hard against them, but I actually think there's something in that. But anyway. Fuck you, Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry, everyone that's listening. Yeah, anyway. But so pass accuracy, 4 out of 5 passes were successful / accurate. 46 cup finals. So certainly a saying. I'm disappointed that out of 15 or 16 shots, I can't read, 3 on target. But the important stat is we got 1 in and they didn't. But that's not always going to be the case, is it? So we need to be more clinical. We need to. I genuinely thought, and you can say, I respect this will sound really arrogant, but a 1-0 up in the 9th minute, I thought we were going to lay quite the whooping on them, or hoped we were going to lay quite the whooping on them, and we didn't, clearly. And don't get me wrong, if we have another 30 nights like this, where we have 30 nervous 1-0 wins, and then we get promoted, wonderful. I just want to win. I'd love to see Sheffield Wednesday get promotion to the Premier League. That's quite unrealistic at the moment. Well, that makes one of us, Taib. No. My take on them is, obviously, I don't really want anyone to go out of business. I don't want anyone to have a poor owner or anything like that, because we've suffered enough of that crap. But at the same time, I'm just glad it's not us for once. It makes a change. Not that I want that to happen to anyone, of course. 0 corners. Yeah, this is one getting at. They're in deep shit financially. I don't want them to do well in football, but that doesn't mean I don't want them to exist. Like, everyone should have the hope that their team's going to thrive. At least you have the feeling that you're going to have a club to support next season, even if it's crap, which for 99% of us, it is crap, because unless you get like the Saudi-backed billionaires where you're going to never not exist, but you're always going to win and things like that, which is unrealistic for most in elite sport, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, so pleased that Leeds avoided the bookings. But then I guess that comes from we were so dominant in the game, like territorially, that we were never going to be in a position to need to do anything so cynical. It needed to be put in the book. I could be wrong. I thought that's fair to say. So I think now we should have a look at the week 10 results, or match day. What they call it now, match day 10. So apologies to Dr. John's graphics. So Ipswich got another win. Southampton got a win at Stoke, which I know for a fact that on Friday I watched the Southampton fan channel and they were talking about the Leeds and Stoke matches, and they were looking basically at, I hope we get something at Stoke, because they did not expect to beat us. So to be fair to them, and they must be ecstatic because they got 6 out of 6 points, and fair play to them. Fair play to them. But that's football, isn't it? Swansea over Norwich. What has happened to Norwich? I mean, I'm sure they're doing okay, really, but it just feels like whenever I'm looking at them, they're not doing well. When I was watching the highlights of Fulham, not Fulham, what did I say Fulham for? Watching the highlights of the EFL games last night, and the thing that stuck out to me was Huddersfield's defending was so shambolic. I would have actually bribed the EFL to put Leeds versus Huddersfield this Saturday, because I was salivating at the prospect of Jorginho Rutter going against their defence. And their goalkeeper was so poor, I thought I was watching Meslier in the Premier League. But it turns out it was the Huddersfield goalkeeper. But again, when they play Leeds, he will turn into prime Buffon. You heard it here first. You hear a lot of things here first, probably. I don't know whether that's good or not, but anyway. Bristol City got a 95th minute goal at Rotherham to score that win. They're coming to Ellen Road next. I hope that was their only joy for the week. And let's look ahead. This weekend, we have got... Oh, and disclaimer, they are listed as the time zone for Director John, I believe, in his the virtual private network, I believe the term is. But the games that stand out to me are Sunderland and Middlesbrough, I believe, are going for a 9-point week or 8 days or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, Ipswich versus Preston is going to be a playoff, top of the table-ish clash. Birmingham playing West Brom in the Friday night fixture, which I'll have one eye on, but it's a lazy eye, so I don't know if I'll be taking much in of that. Southampton again going for another 9-point week against Rotherham. And yeah, this is the wonders of the EFL Championship. I believe Spencer has got an affinity with Plymouth Argyle, who I'm also looking forward to playing based on how they played against Millwall. Looking forward to that. Green Army. They did do well last season. They I believe they finished third in the end, and they didn't make playoff final, did they? No. But they did well. But then they sold their top striker, and their best players that were on loan went back to parent clubs, and they were left, and they didn't replace the striker that they sold to Ajax. I think it was Akpom. Apologies if I got the name wrong. Sheffield Wednesday game looks interesting. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield. Shambles versus slightly less shambolic. Grandad was from Devon, supported Plymouth, so I have a soft spot for him. Where is that soft spot, though? Can you show us on the doll? Is that too far? Is that too offensive? It's like, no one's watching this anyway, it's fine. But I think on a professional presentation, this is the point where I would go, and now let's look at the table. So here is your championship table. Your screen is blurry, could be on my end. No, it's almost certainly on my end. But anyway, so Sheffield Wednesday are very much in danger of falling behind the pack. I've got to be honest, I thought they only had 1 point, so I'm surprised that I thought they only drew with us. So apologies. Shame on the other team that they didn't beat. The first team they didn't beat was us. But, we didn't beat, whatever. But, Watford gave their manager a new contract. So that's the equivalent of giving someone a Christmas bonus, though, because you know he's going to be sacked by Christmas, which means he's just going to get paid out slightly more money than he would have got when they originally would have sacked him for Christmas. So I don't know if that made sense. It made sense in my head. But anyway, could well be getting 12 to 15 points soon. What do you base that on? Are they bringing in Warnock? Plymouth are my FIFA career mode team outside of Arsenal. Shall I tell you who's the most disappointing person on FIFA to me is? It's Alex Hunter, because he was on FIFA, I think it was 17, 18, 19, and then he's just disappeared and never returned. Like, what's going on? Like, all the abandonment issues in my life have come back to roost because of Alex Hunter. Sad times, sad times. Tom, do you rate Valerian Ismail? Isn't he a bit overrated? I misread that. I thought you were saying they've got to win 4 out of 5 games. Oh yeah, definitely good game of administration. Yeah, you got that right, didn't you? Sorry, that's my fault. I misread that. Do you rate him? I think he's riding the coattails of how well he did with Barnsley across one season, where his tactic was basically, we're going to kick the ball up to the big American fella up top, Daryl DK, which worked. Credit to him, considering Barnsley went from surviving on the last day to the next year getting in the playoffs. Amazing stuff. But he's took that now to like 2 or 3 other jobs, and it's not working quite like it did at the team where I guess teams were expecting to steamroller Barnsley, so he was able to play towards that. Whereas when he then does the same thing for West Brom, who are expecting promotion at the time, I don't think it translated very well. I could be wrong. Unless they get a new. Alan was Shilton at Argyle. Is it Shilton? Yeah, Shilton. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so we'll go to the top end of the table. And yeah, Leeds have found ourselves back in the top 6, where you want to be at a bare minimum with respect to it. Leicester, obviously, 9 wins out of 10. Can't really argue with that. But again, like, sorry, going back, right? So, 14th, Millwall, 14 points in 14th, and they can literally go 5th with a win. So, that's the unpredictability and tightness of this division, and it's why you don't really want to be in it. But I've experienced it far too much in my life. But I digress. I was there for a long time. Are you attending any Leeds games soon? I haven't got any plans to specifically. However, I do try to go when they are in London. The last one I went to in London, it was just before the pandemic. Charlton played Leeds. We lost, obviously, because it's Leeds. But actually, that's not true. My last Leeds game I went to was Arsenal versus Leeds in the Carabao Cup. Eddie scored. I was conflicted. No, I wasn't, obviously. Didn't want Eddie to score. But it was a thing that happened. But I've seen Bielsa with my own eyes, so that was I didn't wash those eyes for a while because I was so starstruck by the great man. And he is a great man. Even if he does dress like your dishevelled, divorced granddad. Sorry, Marcelo. I couldn't help it. So, coming up, we go against Bristol City. International break. This is for the rest of October, obviously. International break. Then we come back and we go straight to Norwich. Then we go to Stoke. Let me check my calendar. So the 25th. Unfortunately, it probably will be a cold night in Stoke. But those are the things you've got to win if you want to get into the Premier League. But now the show can officially start because BX Gunner has arrived. Hello, BX. Hope you're well. Sheffield Wednesday have now got a former Watford manager as their new manager. Who's that? Who's that? Because they've sacked Cisco today. It was yesterday. Excuse me. They sacked Cisco yesterday. And when I say Cisco, it's an ex-Cisco, not Cisco like who made the Thong song and Enter the Dragon and stuff. It's like one of the greatest albums of 2001 or 2000. Sorry. But I digress. Good win. Thank you. You're right. It was a good win. Not a great win. It was a good win. Winnable games there, Tom. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying thank you very much. I'm not going to be playing them. But too many international games for sure. Well, Sam, we've only got another couple of weeks and it'll be another international break. But then you don't get one for another, 4 or 5 months, is it? They do one in February? February, there'll be 4 months. My beard is starting to look like BX's pick. Doesn't surprise me at all. Driving home for work, listening to my favourite Brit. Why is Russ Morgan on here? Sorry. Anyway, sorry, you're correct. Dopey cushion. Yeah, it's not the first time. But basically, we need points, lots of points. Because the thing with the Championship is if you don't get them, someone will. And you don't want to be lagging behind in this league. I'm sick of being in the Championship, but then when I'm in the Premier League, I'm sick of being in the Premier League. So what I think Leeds should do is just break away from football and then just play friendly matches, like we'll be like the Harlem Globetrotters, but shitter. Don't clip that though, because it made me sound really silly. But anyway, I thought January was in national break. Oh God, I hope you're wrong. Join the ML. We probably could have last year when we had Jesse Marsh and his American mates with us, dragging us down. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Anyway, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. And then we got Huddersfield at home, and I love beating Huddersfield. Remember when we played Huddersfield, when Huddersfield were good, like that 1 year, they were good. And they beat us, but then then one of their managers clotheslined one of our players. I feel was it Wagner clotheslined, and then a brawl erupted. Curse of Watford, yeah. And then NFL wants to expand to England. They've been saying that since 2007. I'll believe it when they turn the Jacksonville Jaguars into like the Tottenham Jags or whatever they'll call it. Because Tottenham seem to want one. Hello, it's Gary, everyone. Say hello to Gary. He's a good man. Even if he does clip my misfortune with crisps. That's the thing. Look at Tom's beard. And then imagine it to the V in his collar. Oh, that's a rather long one. Jimmy. That's what he said. That's what she said. Anyway. So, the London Jaguars. Yeah, makes sense. Better than what I said. Anything with the word Tottenham in it sucks. Even Tottenham. So, I suppose we've done everything. But before we go, I was going to do the question of the week. 11 players. No. We'll do it properly. Right? No. Get off the screen. It's time for the. Oh wait, I pressed the wrong button. It's time for the Mr. Tom question of the week. Mr. Tom's question of the week. 11 players have played for both Leeds United and Queen's Park Rangers. Can you name them? Local kids call me Crazy Jesus. For some reason, I have no suspicions that is a lie. None at all. That's not sarcasm. Every part of that seems like it could actually be true. I always thought sort of Thomas resembles Aubameyang. Really? We have one. We have two. Tom, do you have a token I could use? I don't know why you'd want to use it. Unfortunately, before we came on the air, I deleted the images of Chelsea Green. Fortunately, they'd outlived their usefulness, let's just say. Anyway, that's not PG. Did you see Tony Ingham play much, Spencer? He played for Leeds in like 1948 or something. Don't need clues. Spencer's got the article that the question came from. You cheeky fucker. Anyway. So Mark quite rightly, his boy Tyler Roberts, I believe he was one of his favourites in the era when Leeds actually were wonderful. Yeah. We got it from the same place, Spencer, don't worry. So I believe we got 3 of them so far, including obviously the legendary Tony Ingham. I'll give you a clue. Actually, I will give you a clue, Ty. He was in the movie Snatch. He was in the movie Snatch. It was a great movie. It's a great movie. I love the movie Snatch. I think you got 3 of them so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 out of the 11. We have got, yes, correct. Big Vinnie Jones, yes. So that's 5. And this sermon will not end until you get all 11. And to be fair, Spencer already found out the hardest one. I guess I'll give more clues. One of them, he was deemed the smartest footballer at the time. I believe he was the chairman of the PFA, something like that. I could be factually wrong. Vinny, very good. There is a douchebag in the gym with a tripod taking videos of themselves. It's not Jermaine Beckford, unfortunately, but I can see why you'd think that. Vinny Bullshit Jones, yeah. There's a douchebag in the gym. You'd never find me doing that because you'd never find me in a gym. But you would find me lifting a lot of burgers. Yeah. Very good. Very good. I like how you scroll down on the same article, and I believe it was underneath Tony Ingham. But yeah, very good. Very good. Dexter Blackstock is correct. Clark Carlisle, quite rightly, I believe he was the chairman of the PFA, or like the players' representative, or whatever they call it. It was not David Seaman. It was not David Seaman, unfortunately. Clark Carlisle was on Countdown. He was. So, got a couple more. I'll give a clue. One scored against Leeds this season. Yeah, Mark, Spawny Mark was on Tyler Roberts like a fly on shit. To be fair to him, well in there. I knew he would get the Tyler Roberts thing if he was around for it. Carlisle is a lot colder place on Tuesday night in Winton than Stoke is. It is, but a lot of the Premier League teams don't usually get embarrassed there. Well, 15 years ago or something. So, Gary says, Knob, Bob, why not? Scroll to the middle. Well, and then Taib naturally Taib hears the word knob and then thinks, where? Right. Billy the Fish Thompson. Who? Sounds more like a criminal than a. Wait, what? Yeah, but again, scored past Leeds. One of them scored past Leeds. One of them was a title winner with Leeds to beat as well. And one of them was nicknamed Hot Stuff. My dad had a T-shirt of him. Eze. Unfortunately not, although Leeds probably wouldn't be where they are now if we had have bought Eze when we had the chance. Possibly. He's a good footballer. Let's be fair, he's a good footballer. Tidy player. Are you ready to give in? Do you want the answers, or are you happy to keep guessing? I'm happy to keep sitting here while you guess. I mean, I've nothing better to do. That's not sarcasm. I literally have nothing better to do. I'll just sit drinking some Pepsi while you Google the answers or something. Sam, I believe you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 out of 11. You're looking for 4 more. Again, clues. One was a title winner with Leeds. One was hot stuff. One scored against Leeds this season. And the other, his name rhymes with Ferry. More obvious clues. Okay. Obvious clues. Okay. One's name is Sean D. No, wait, no, that's too obvious. Let's say his name is S. Derry. Sorry, what? Yeah, but he didn't play for Leeds. Sean Derry. Was that too obvious? Got another one. Steve Hodge from the title winning side of 91-92. Yeah, that's a thing. We won things. 2 more. 2 more. Mr. Beans on toast. Don't know what that means, but we'll just say it's right. Steve Hodge. There's another one. There's a lot of clues. It's true. Then Matt Smith. Matt Smith scored against Leeds for Salford in the Carabao Cup, and he has played for QPR and Leeds United. You got one more. You got one more. And oddly enough, you can actually make the 4-4-2 formation with these players. I was actually tempted to do it in such a way that it actually did resemble. You have 15 seconds before I give you another 15 seconds. There are 12 answers because one of them is Finger the Duck. I always wanted him to be a one-club duck, but he's a whore, that Finger. My language has been really foul tonight. I apologise. I'll do better next time. Who is the 11th man that has played for both Leeds United and Queen's Park Rangers? It is. I'll give you a clue. His first name was someone who co-hosts a wrestling podcast with me, and his last name is something I ate earlier which turned my arsehole on fire. Ding, ding, ding. It's Tony Curry. And that fit the clue because he had a T-shirt that said, Tony Curry is hot stuff. And my dad had it. And to which I went to him, you didn't think that was a bit gay then? And he was like, no. I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not my point. My point is, though, that was a more homophobic time. And I just found it a bit odd that he would happily wear that. And no one else would question anyway. No, but I wouldn't type that into Google, personally. He'll probably do well in the Asia Cup coming up. But yeah, so the answer is Ben Vindaloo, yeah. So the 11 players that have played for Queen's Park Rangers and Leeds United: Paddy Kenny, Rio Ferdinand, Tony Ingham, Clark Carlisle, Vinnie Jones, Sean Derry, Steve Hodge, Tony Curry, Tyler Roberts, Matt Smith, and Dexter Blackstock. Well done, and to everyone who got one right. Again, I'm pretty sure he done well down at the Historical Society, but he's not part of this list, Mr. Nix. Kenny, what a fat keeper he was. That's what she said. And never heard of some of them, but that is a tough team. It certainly is. One of those is a former Doctor Who. It's true. It's true. Why not? Why not slice it up and put it on your breakfast? I don't know. But thank you to Director John for helping me compile this into a graphic. Incredible stuff. Thank you all that have watched this. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, tough shit. You wasted your time, not mine. So, but seriously, thank you everyone for stopping by. Tell you what, I'll put the link in the chat if anyone does want to come on for, I can sit here for a bit and talk to people if they would like to. Much appreciated. But genuinely, thank you for supporting the show. If you could, be really kind if you told a friend that we exist. So it'd be really cool. My name's Mr. Tom. His name is Mr. Ben. And I bid you, we'll be back on Sunday, almost certainly. But I bid you all a good night.